Today's tutorial is learning how to do a technique called polished stone. And what you need for this is you need glossy photo paper and some stays-on ink. And we're going to start by stamping our image onto our glossy paper. Now I'm using the Stamp-A-Majig so I can line it up in the middle. And I'm going to pull this away. And now I'm using a stamp from the Dreams du Jour set. I'm going to ink it up by doing twist, twist, tap, tap. Make sure it's all inked. Set the ink pad aside and then push down. I have to move the Stamp-A-Majig away now and then peel off the stamped image and set the stamp aside. Now, the next step in the technique is to take a cotton ball and you are going to douse it in rubbing alcohol. So you don't need to totally saturate it, but just get enough in there so it's wet. The next step is to take some reinkers, and I'm going to use Pretty in Pink and Perfect Plum. It's better, well, depending on the look that you're going for, using the colors from the Soft Subtles collection makes it a little bit easier to see the images behind it, but you can use whatever colors you want. So I'm going to put just two drops of reinker in a square-shaped pattern, and then for a little bit of shimmer I'm going to use the Champagne Mist shimmer paint, and I'm going to pour just a little bit into the center if it wants to come out. Come on, there we go. Just one drop. Okay. So I'm going to set all of these aside. And now I'm going to take my glossy paper with the stays-on ink on it, and I'm just going to stamp on it. Just push down, and I'm just going to keep going. And you'll notice that the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol in the cotton swab, or the cotton ball, is going to start to blend the colors. Now, I've already colored it all over, but I want more color, so I'm just going to continue to do it until I get the color saturation that I want. And if you want more of one color, then push down on the cotton ball that either has more pink or more purple, and just go until you get it quite to the color that you want. Okay, so that looks good to me. So I'm going to set this aside to dry. It's just going to take a couple seconds to dry. And while that's drying, I am going to take another piece of clean paper, and I'm going to stamp the background image using Versamark. So when you use a large stamp like the one I'm using called Pretty Petals, it's sometimes easier to turn it upside down and just ink directly onto the stamp itself rather than turning it over and inking it with as you would a normal smaller stamp. So I just ink the whole image, and then I put my Perfect Plum paper directly down on top of it. And then I flip it over and push down just enough so it gives it just a little hint of background. Okay, and then peel that off, and then you have a very light, subtle image in the back. The next step you're going to do is with the ribbon. So you'll see that I have some ribbon cut here, and if you don't have a pair of the craft and rubber scissors from Stampin' Up, I highly suggest you get them, because man, these things work with ribbon in ways that I never imagined possible. So to get the effect of the corners, you can either cut them one at a time, or you can fold it over in half, fold it into a corner so you kind of pinch it, and then take your snips and just cut corners. See, these cut so smoothly through 4 layers, and then you have an even cut on each side. Very, very simple. Okay, I'm going to lay this down on my paper, and you can use a snail or a double-sided sticky strip to keep that in place, but I find that when you glue down the gold paper here, it just holds the ribbon, and you don't need to use excess adhesive. Okay, so now my image is dry, And if you want it to go faster, you can always use a heat gun. But I'm going to just put some glue on the back and attach it to my brushed gold paper and center that. Okay, then I'm going to glue this down. On top of the ribbon. Okay, and one more small step to do. I am going to take a basic pearl jewel from our sheet here and put it in the center of the flower. And the card is done. So there you have it. Good luck and happy stamping!